310. Hello, audience, and welcome to Ball Knowers. Today is the trade deadline, the NHL trade deadline specifically, and it's just going to be me today. Cameron's not here to talk to you, unless he decides to call in because the Devils are making some odd trades right now, in my honest opinion. Todd Fitzgerald goes out like after they fire Lindy Ruff for a press conference. Oh, that also happened, by the way. Lindy Ruff was fired. A lot has happened. So he goes out and says he's not shopping Tyler Toffoli. Lord and behold, he goes and trades Tyler Toffoli like a couple hours ago. And we're here in the last like final hour of the trade deadline. A lot of trades have been made, including the Rangers. But now back to the Devils real quickly. They just acquired Jake Allen, who they needed a goalie. But I don't know if Jake Allen's the guy that they really need at this moment, if you want me to be perfectly honest with you. But hey, they made the trade and they traded Tyler Toffoli. So like, I'm confused. Like, are they still trying to contend for a playoff spot or not? I mean, I haven't seen what they got back for Toffoli yet. Actually, they've traded him to Winnipeg for a second-round pick in 2025 and a 2024 third-round pick. So honestly, not a bad return for a rental. If you want me to be real with you, at 50% retained, and but there's been so many trades made today. We'll go over some of them, the big ones that were made earlier in the week, including the Rangers, who acquired center Alex Wenberg from Seattle for a second-round pick and a fourth-round pick for next year. I think I personally like the trade because it fills out like the bottom six a bit and adds some center depth that was sorely needed after Filipino went out for the rest of the year. It was desperately needed. He's good at faceoffs. Well, he wins a lot of faceoffs, though. His percentage might suggest he's not really the best, like a 46% faceoff percentage. But he's still like won like 470 of them, which is a lot. So that's good. He's defensive. He's a responsible forward. All right, so that's what you need if you want to go in a deep playoff run. The Rangers have yet to acquire here a right wing, which is something that they really need right now. They have made two trades today. They acquired Nick Patan for Turner Olsen as an AHL minor league deal, but the big deal today for them so far is trading a 2027 fourth-round pick to Pittsburgh for Chad Ruedel. And speaking of Pittsburgh, they made the biggest trade yesterday by trading Jake Gensel to Carolina last night. Jake Gensel was rumored to be the Rangers were rumored to be in on Jake Gensel like until the very end. But in my opinion, the Penguins get Michael Bunting and 3 mid-level prospects and a conditional second-round pick, which becomes a first-round pick if Carolina makes it to the Stanley Cup final this year, and a 5th-round pick that Pittsburgh only gets if Carolina wins the Stanley Cup in exchange for Jake Gensel at 25% retained salary and Ty Smith. I think this trade is really good for Carolina, to say the least. I don't know. I know the thought process from like Kyle Dubas was that he wanted more live bodies, NHL ready bodies to play. I think it was pretty clear that he wanted quantity over quality, in my opinion, because I think the Rangers could have come up with a better package than what they ended up getting for Gensel. If you want my personal opinion on that. Conditions are also like very unfavorable too, because Carolina has not even won a conference final game since 2009, or has even won a conference final game since 2006. Actually, sorry, they've been swept. They've been to the conference finals like 3 different times since they won the Stanley Cup in 2006, and they've not won a single conference final game. Like Arizona Coyotes have won a conference final game much more recently than Carolina. So, to say the least, these conditions, I don't know. I'm not really liking these conditions, given what has been happening in the past. But also the Flyers are making some moves today, and the Carolina Hurricanes also actually before that they acquired Evgeny Kuznetsov, who was put on waivers earlier this week after coming back from the Players Assistance Association, which at 50% retained for a third round pick. Carolina's like really filling out their roster. I don't know if Kuznetsov is really a positive asset at this point right now. If you want me to read with you, but I mean, you get a free basically get a free forward at a cheap cost at the price of a third round pick. You take that any day of the week. Yeah, Jason Zucker is going to Nashville for a 6th round pick. And Eric Johnson is going to the Flyers for a 4th round pick from Buffalo to Philadelphia. And one trade that is interesting to me is that Patrick Maroon is going to the Boston Bruins. It's interesting to me because a couple of years ago, Jack Edwards, a play-by-play announcer for Boston, made some comments about Patrick Maroon, like derogatory. Well, I don't know if derogatory, but like he made comments about Patrick Maroon's like size, which is really interesting, and it was blew up pretty big around the NHL world. Now it's ironic because now Patrick Maroon is going to be playing for the Boston Bruins, and Jack Edwards is going to have to say something positive about him, which is really funny if you're someone like me. But I think the Bruins also just acquired Andrew Peeke from Columbus, I think, too. It's been a lot. We're heading to like the final hour of the trade deadline, too, so we'll be seeing a lot of trades coming in right now and being made official by the 3 o'clock hour. So we will keep you through with that. But also in other news, not hockey related, but football related, briefly, Russell Wilson apparently met with the Giants. I want none of that. If you want me to be honest with you, I want none of that. Who was just released from a lot of stuff has happened between the last show and this show right now. I'm realizing a lot of stuff has happened in the sports world. I feel like I'm going a bit fast, but I have to juggle a lot of things right now too. But I haven't seen anything new just yet. But Pittsburgh seems to be going into a rebuild right now with like the trades that they've been making recently, and I'm all for the Penguins' downfall, personally speaking. But yeah, I was never really convinced that Jake Gensel was ever going to come to the Rangers, though, just because I just couldn't see. It seems like they wanted a lot from the Rangers, but given what they were getting from the Carolina Hurricanes, they did not. I don't know if they really wanted to send him here. If you want my honest opinion, I don't know if the Islanders are going to make a move today either. Let me open up the stream here too and get Oh yeah, and the Vegas Golden Knights. I forgot to talk about that. Talk about them. They acquired Anthony Mantha and Noah Hannafin earlier this week for pittance, for nothing, or for basically nothing. I just gotta like see the condition on that Noah Hannafin trade. It's like the most ridiculous like condition I've ever seen put on a draft pick. So the Vegas Golden Knights traded a 2025 first round pick in part of a trade for Noah Hannafin from Calgary. The condition is that if by March 10th, or if the trade by March 10th, 2024, or if the pick is a top 10 pick, Vegas. Okay, no, wait, no, hold on. I gotta rephrase that. Vegas traded the 2025 first round pick. Calgary will only receive that pick unless Vegas trades it. If Vegas trades that pick, they'll then receive the 2026 first round pick instead. Confused yet? So basically, the Golden Knights still have their 2025 first round pick, at least until the deadline by today, unless they decide to trade it. This is such a stupid condition. Like this is condition that I would make up for like stupid stuff. But now here we are at NHL teams actually making these conditions. The truth is more ridiculous than fiction because you could never make this up. It's wild. I don't even like it's hard to explain too. Like it doesn't make any sense. It's tough to explain. I'm the Vegas Golden Knights are clearly also abusing the long-term injured reserve to their advantage with Mark Stone being on there. I mean, I don't want to say Mark Stone isn't injured, but if he comes back game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, if Vegas makes it, which I think they will, there's going to be a lot of questions, to say the least. There's going to be a lot of eyebrow raises if he comes back conveniently for game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. But yeah, the Rangers have not much cap space left. It'll be interesting to see which forward they'll get, whatever it's Pavel Buchnevich, which I think is unlikely right now, where they circle back to Frank Vetrano. But I heard some reports saying that they might be interested in Riley Smith going back to Kyle Dubas again, get Riley Smith. That could work. I also heard that there's a real possibility of them getting Max Pacioretty, which is interesting. We go from signing Blake Wheeler, who's now injured, to who's 37 years old, to a 35-year-old forward who's not injured yet and who has been having trouble staying healthy. It's just weird how they're operating things here with Chris Drury, but they currently have $2.1 million of cap space left, around that. If there's a roster move made today or not, that will be a good indicator to see what is happening. As of right now, Rempe and Enstrom are still on the team. They're easy to move down if they want to create instant cap space for a trade. And if they are moved down, that will be very telling. But yeah, Max Pacioretty, Patches, he is literally made of glass. But the Rangers need something on that top line. They really do. I think they should try to get Pavel Buchnevich, but I don't know if he's actually going to be available unless something happens right now. But as we discussed, I don't know what the Devils are really doing with their team. They just traded one of their better forwards, granted, who is a pending free agent and are doing good. But then they go around and trade for Jake Allen, a goalie, which is something they desperately needed before the trade deadline. So I don't know what Tom Fitzgerald is doing there. I don't know if Cameron's going to call in or not. We'll see what's happening with that. If he wants to rant and rave about his team. But not seeing a lot right now, which we'll pick up. We are literally waiting for insiders to say the Rangers name, Ranger fans. I want to see Elliot Freeman tweet out saying that Pavel Buchnevich is being traded to the Rangers. That's all I really want to see today, honestly. So yeah, they did get sent down. Hartford, Rempe, and Enstrom did get sent down, it looks like, as a paper transaction to be eligible for AHL playoffs. Okay, that's what you were saying, Jack, before. Oh, and also other Giants news. They basically too, as we're waiting for more trades to happen. They Saquon Barkley and Xavier McKinney were not tagged and will be testing the free agency market, which I gotta be honest, I'm surprised they didn't tag one of them. I would have tagged McKinney because they did not really want to tag Mark Barkley again because they've already they have already kind of ruined the relationship already with tagging him the first time. But if they do end up signing elsewhere, it it will be truly like an end of an era, right? An end of an era of wasted opportunity for both of them. The one the two actually decently panned out picks that Dave Gettleman made. Say what you want about Saquon Barkley, whether they should have drafted him second overall or not. The man still was what they could at the time. That was the pick that they were should have probably made anyway, regardless of what you think. But now I don't know where they'll go. I hope he doesn't go to Philadelphia, like this one report suggested. But if he goes to Philadelphia, it's gonna be me and Cameron will be very mad to say the least. And as for McKinney, I'm legit surprised they didn't. I thought they were gonna attack him for sure, but that's not what happened. I think yeah, I don't want him to go to Dallas either. I just hope we bring one of them back, but I know that's not a guarantee. I also hope they don't draft JJ McCarthy 6 overall, because I'm getting very fearful that that's what's going to happen, and I do not want that. But yeah, okay, yeah, and we have assigned Adam Enstrom to the Hartford Wolfpack, so maybe there is some more moves coming today. I mean, to be expected. I think they're gonna have to make a move. I don't. But who do they even acquire? Who's even available at this point right now? Honestly, if they go and get Frank for Toronto, considering what all the right wingers that have been traded, do you think the Giants will draft a quarterback this year? I definitely think they should. They definitely should. I think if they are going to draft a quarterback, they should trade up for one. They should trade up to the top 3. They should, because yeah, JJ McCarthy is rocking up draft boards like Zach Wilson. Now, JJ McCarthy's actually won stuff at Michigan, but he was playing for Michigan and not really throwing the ball a whole lot. They were built around the run game and their offensive line. JJ McCarthy's not worth the Giants picking at 6 overall. I don't even know if he should go in the first round, but the human imagination is crazy. That's what you use for scouts. Your imagination of of the best case scenario is what you are hinging your job on of being right because of your imagination. That's basically what scouting is a lot too. Because if you hit well on this prospect of oh, maybe he turned in something, and that hits and that becomes true, you look like the biggest genius ever. But on the flip side, if that's not what happens, you look like the dumbest person ever. But oh, Larry Brooks tweeted something. No deal is far better than making a bad trade. If the Rangers are unable to get what they want, there is no need to bring an extra forward who will gum up the works. 20 games left. to work with Enstrom or Rempe. 20 games for Cooley to take a larger role. Honestly, I don't disagree with that notion. Because I'll be honest with you, the trade deadline this year is kind of underwhelming in terms of like people who are available. If you want me to be real with you, because like outside of like Jake Gensel and Noah Hannafin, who is like up there as like some of the top guys available? I guess Tarasenko, but like he didn't really go for much. Overpriced and underwhelming. Yeah, exactly. I can't really name other guys who are like. It's like just because teams are like middling. They don't know if they want to contend or even or sell. It's just some teams are probably just better off keeping the assets they have, like with Jordan Eberle re-signing in Seattle. I'm convinced that the part of the holdout that because the trade, I felt like the trade was coming since like Monday and then it was made on Wednesday. I kind of felt like I was wondering if the Rangers were trying to get Eberle in the trade as well, which I would have welcomed, but clearly that's not what happened because he's back in Seattle for an extra 2 years now. Which honestly, if I'm Seattle, that's the move I'm making every day of the week. Jordan Eberle is like worth everything to your team right now. A good forward. Um, hmm. But not much is happening just yet in terms of marquee names. The Flyers acquired Dennis Gurianov from Nashville in exchange for Wade Allison. That's a hockey trade if I've ever seen one. I mean, I've talked briefly about Chad Ruhwedel being acquired for a 2027 fourth round pick. I personally am okay with Chad Ruhwedel. They need depth defensemen, especially if Trouba is like going to be hurt. Now, if Trouba is hurt, Jacob Trouba is hurt. Oh, Kevin Weeks just tweeted about Vegas now. All right, but back to what I was gonna say. Put Jacob Trouba on LTIR, and then you get up to $10 million of cap space, which could be very handy, to say the least, to get some extra forwards. Because Chad Ruhwedel is like has good defensive numbers, like analytics. I mentioned I mentioned Maroon earlier in the show. Oh, but it's just funny because now because of what Jack Edwards has said about Maroon in the past, it's very funny that he's now a Bruin now. My fantasy team doesn't need another person at LTIR. You will get another person at LTIR, Jack. Do you want more body? You have all the bodies in the world. What did Weeks even say about Vegas? There's a lot of going on right now. Oh, just eye emojis. Honestly, that's a Kevin Weeks just loves to make tweets of emojis or just make videos of his forehead talking about a move, which honestly is hilarious, and I enjoy that. I hope he keeps doing that. I wonder if Riley Smith's going to who is going to go to Vegas because that would be good. That would be good for them, but I don't know if they have the assets or not or what they really want. I don't. It's a lot of speculation. right now too. With like how many minutes are left? We've got. Oh wait, sorry, we got at least like under half an hour left. 23 minutes and 40 seconds until the 3 p.m. deadline. What trades have been made that I thought? What other trades have been made? Malcolm Subban going to the Blue Jackets for future considerations. I legit had no idea Malcolm Subban was even still playing. Anthony Beauvillier went to Nashville, I think, yesterday for a 5th-round pick. Oh, and a lot of things were happening the other day too with Colorado. They made a trade and sent Bowen Byram to Buffalo for Casey Middlestat, which was a 1-for-1. But also they traded for Sean Walker of the Flyers yesterday in exchange for a 1st-round pick and Ryan Johansson, who the Flyers have just waived Ryan Johansson, but he went unclaimed. But that could be a trade asset right now to a team. So because they can retain salary from $4 million to probably $2 million, and honestly, I think a lot of teams might be interested in having someone like Ryan Johansson as like a bottom sixer. But and the Devils last week also followed my advice and they got tough. Also, we're getting Curtis McDermott to solve the Matt Rempe problem. Oh, Dumpa's getting traded to Tampa. I like that move for Tampa. They also got Anthony Duclair last night, which for basically on the cheap. I was kind of hoping the Rangers might be looking into Duclair, but seems like that's not happening. That's not going to happen now. I just really hope we get the Rangers get one of Vetrano or Buchnevich. But again, I'm not optimistic about getting Buchnevich because St. Louis doesn't need to trade him. St. Louis doesn't really need to trade him. Florida looks like a great team right now, too. That top 6 of like Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Barkov, Tkachuk, Bennett, and now Tarasenko. That's not going to be a fun team to go up against if you're playing against them. Though they lost last night to Philly, I think. They just keep winning. I don't know. They're making some fine move. They're making some I think savvy moves right now. Danny Briere and the Flyers are making some good moves. Though I'm not entirely. Eric Johnson, if you want me to be perfectly honest with you, but I mean he's a depth defenseman. Yeah, the Panthers they're far and away I think the best team in the East right now. I don't know how much the Rangers could even keep up with them. They lost to them on Monday. But they're going to be a lot of teams people's pick to make it out of the Eastern Conference this year. This is really hard hosting by myself, but I have a lot of content here to we've reached under 20 minutes. But Andrew Peeke is going to the Bruins from the Blue Jackets in exchange for Jacob Zaboral and a 2027 3rd-round pick. I just hate hearing the words 2027 because that's not a real year. That is not a real year. And that means 2020, and that means 2007 is going to be almost 20 years ago in 3 years, which I'm starting to feel old now. But the Panthers are probably the best team in NHL. I probably would even agree with that. Kind of interested. The Vancouver Canucks are also going to make a move because it sounded like they were interested in Gensel, but they were priced out, or they couldn't really put together a solid trade package. I thought they were probably going to get Tyler Toffoli, but that's not happening. Thought they were going to make maybe one more move, but we'll see. The Bruins have been busy, as I've stated before. It's a lot to keep up right now. Has Cap Friendly updated the Rangers roster? No, they have not. Busiest day of the year in the hockey media world. Oh yeah, they did re-sign Pettersson. I was right, the Canucks, which the rest of the Metropolitan Division dodged a bullet because apparently the Carolina Hurricanes were like in discussions to acquire Pettersson. And if, in my opinion, if Elias Pettersson was in the Metropolitan Division and wasn't a Ranger, good lord, that would have been hell. That would have been awful to like go up against like every like 4 times a year at least, and maybe even against the playoffs. So thank God he re-signed it in Vancouver. In my honest, humble opinion, I would not have been able to handle it if he went to Carolina. But now then they turn around and go get Jake Gensel for, honestly, I don't know how really good the prospects are, but for nothing. But honestly, the trade itself makes sense from Kyle Dubas' perspective. I think, as I mentioned earlier, because they wanted more live bodies and more NHL ready players. And I'm guessing that those are the players that are most NHL ready. The Pittsburgh wants, and Pittsburgh's got a barren farm system right now. So literally any prospect is a good prospect for them. Yeah, officially, Matt Remy's also been assigned to the Wolfpack. So that's about like under $2 million of cap space freed up with sending down both Enstrom and Rempe. Was Cooley also sent down? No, I don't think so. I don't think he was sent down. It's going to be busy at 3 p.m. when all these trades are made official. Need Chris Drury to make an acquisition for a right winger, which I think is coming because they just made the moves to free up some instant cap space, which has me thinking that there has to be something going on here, and I'm wondering if the acquisition of Chad Ruhwedel means that maybe Zach Jones is on the way out. But we shall see with that. Um, 15 minutes left until the trade deadline. Hold on to your pants. There's going to be a lot of transactions. I can feel it right now. So Cooley was also sent down. Cooley. No confirmed. Probably. I don't. Well, I mean, Rempe and Enstrom were going to be replaced anyway, so it makes sense for them to be sent down for now, at least. But so they are making Rempe 820K, Enstrom making just over 846K. So that's probably around like just a shade under $2 million freed up cap space, just a shade under, which I would have to probably like do some math on like cap friendly. How I think the Mets will do this season. You know, I was thinking the ceiling is probably like a wild card appearance. But now that like Kodai Senga is like going to be out for the rest of the start of the season, it's going to be tough like first month. I think their floor is like what they were like last year. That is their floor. What they finished last season. Moving around. I think they'll be good or entertaining. They're not. It's not gonna be like a painful watch as it was last year to see a contending team, but they were masquerading as last year, just failing and falling over themselves. Now we have a team that's like maybe not having as much expectations, which is probably good. Not as much pressure from the media, so maybe they'll play better. But I honestly, they still have a lot of the same players they had in like a couple of years back, and they're going to get Edwin Diaz back, so that's going to help a lot. And they're going to be good at defensively, I think, with the additions of Harrison Bader and whatnot. They still got to sign Pete Alonso to a long-term extension, which I think will happen. I think they're going to sign Pete Alonso. There's no reason why they shouldn't. I just think Scott Boras is being a pain to deal with right now. I think like he usually is, because he also hasn't had some of his clients signed elsewhere yet, like Blake Snell and JD Martinez. Frank Saravalli just tweeted that Max Pacioretty is staying in Washington. So, Chris Drury, you got to circle back to somewhere. You got to acquire someone. One final push for Vetrano, maybe. That's honestly, I think the best move they can get right now. An NHL goalie swap between Florida and Pittsburgh. Okay. Oh man, 10 minutes left, or 10 and a half minutes left. I desperately need a trade to happen for the Rangers that I can feel good about. Lots and lots of teams bolstering. It will be interesting. I hopefully the prices start to drop down. Yeah, I hopefully too, but I don't. Teams probably don't even need to trade players either. They probably don't even need to trade them. That's a whole other thing. I'm always like I was very apprehensive. Oh, here we go. The New York Rangers are acquiring Jack Roslovic in exchange for a mid-round pick, according to Frank Saravalli. Jack Roslovic. Let me pull up his stats. I don't think he's having the best season, but he might be what we need. Hold up, Jack Ross. Get up his hockey DB. This is interesting. I think does he actually have term left? I think he might have some term left. Called up. 8 minutes left until the deadline. I don't know how. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh my god. Oh, no, that's June Jenner. Jack Wallacevic is a UFA pending UFA $4 million. He has 23 points in 40 games this year. How many of them are on the power play now? Or is he good 5v5? Man, we're getting a good Blue Jackets here right now with Wenberg and Panarin. Yeah, Jack Wallacevic. That's an interesting selection. He has 0 power play goals, but 3 power play assists. So it looks like he's a 5v5 person, which is good for me. 16 points, 5v5. Oh, yeah. Any money retained? I would probably assume so. Honestly, I don't hate getting Jack Roslovic. I'm going to be honest with you. Because, listen, the biggest acquisition the Rangers can make this year is hopefully having Mika Zibanejad being Mika Zibanejad down the stretch. And if he can be this elite first line center, that's all the Rangers really need. In all honesty, that's all they need. It doesn't matter who they put on the. It shouldn't matter who they put on the right side of him and Kreider if they want to keep playing together. Mika Zibanejad has got to be the guy who's driving play on that line. Still waiting for Mika March. Well, there's only been like a couple games so far. And he scored a shootout goal against Toronto in the first game. So he was showing up for a clutch moment there. But we need something. I want to see what they gave up to get him because honestly, they didn't trade. I can't imagine them they traded much big assets to get him. Seems like a mid-round pick or something like that. Hold on. Someone on Twitter just said, Ryan Mead just said, it's so the weirdest part of this deal is that JD and Jury are making a deal, which that's got a good chuckle out of me. But yeah, getting Jack Roslovic is a product of like the options becoming very slim for the Rangers right now. Jack Roslovic is like fine too. I think he's a fine player. And we just finished playing, I think, Columbus this year too. So I don't think we're playing them again. They go to Elite Prospect to see if they give him like a projected. Projected to finish with 34 points. And he's had 12 points in the last 12 games. Hopefully that continues. Because another thing also, you don't need the teams that win the trade deadline. How often do they win it up? I can't imagine it's a lot. But I feel like Jack Roslovic is another guy they could probably shift up and down the line too. That's another thing I think I like about that. So if you don't like Kakko on the first line, you can put him back on the third line and then put Roslovic up there. Or Roslovic can probably be down in the third line then too as a scorer. But honestly, Jack Roslovic. Oh, here we go. Sources confirmed that Jack Roslovic to New York Rangers. It is a 4th round pick that becomes a 3rd round pick if the Rangers reach the Stanley Cup Finals. The Rangers don't even have a 3rd round pick until 2026. Yeah, they don't have a 3rd round pick until 2026. So Did they just trade a 2026 fourth round pick? Yeah, the Rangers won the deadline last year with getting Tarasenko and Kane, and they were out in the first round. I just you don't need to, you just need to find the best fit, and that does not mean the best players. Okay, yeah, they traded a 2026 pick. I suspected because I knew they hadn't had it. They don't have a third round pick until 2026. So, and that's a condition. Whoa, Vegas is working on a trade for Thomas Hertl. Oh my god. They need more LTIR people, I guess. My goodness, that's huge. I need to see what that's all about. That's interesting. Okay, Jack Roslovic was on the trade that sent Pierre-Luc Dubois to Winnipeg in exchange for Line and him. That was it. That trade, man. But man, Thomas Hertl's going to Vegas. They can't keep getting away with this. That's. I know he's hurt. Is he like close to coming back at all? What a deal to make with 3 minutes left. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. The hockey world's not gonna like that trade. Is not gonna like that trade. I can tell you that much. They are not going to like that. The Winnipeg Jets are going back to New Jersey and acquiring Colin Miller. That's good. Honestly, getting Jack Roslovic, that's the equivalent of getting Frank Vatrano in 2022. That's quite literally the equivalent right now, in my opinion. So I don't necessarily hate getting Jack Roslovic. I need to see what we're gonna be here for a little past 3 until at least 3:10, everyone. So we'll see what other trades are announced. But man, Thomas Hertl going to the Golden Knights. Oh my goodness, that's no update since the All-Star break. He had a knee procedure. Gotta imagine Vegas likes the medicals on that, considering they just traded for him. I'm not gonna complain about the Jack Roslovic acquisition. They keep their assets. They keep their big assets. They don't really feel the need to get the big. There was no one really worth anything out there. If you wanted to worth a first round pick, in my mind. Elliot Freeman just tweeted Thomas Hertl will go to Las Vegas pending a trade call. And Hertl is signed through 2029, 2030. I am interested to see what they just gave up to get him. I'm very interested to see what they got. The Sharks are really tearing it down. The Sharks are in just free fall right now. They've been the entire time. The trade deadline is officially over, and now we're going to see a lot of trades get announced right now. Oh boy. And honestly, if the Rangers were going to get Frank Vatrano, I don't really know how much that would have really changed the Rangers right now, because he is getting a lot of his points on the power play, which is exactly why we need more out of Zibanejad, because he's only getting points on the power play right now. He has not scored a 5v5 goal since December. It is March. It is March 8th right now. That's how 2024 has started, and he hasn't even got a single 5v5 goal. And Jack Roslovic I think, might be a better option at that point, because I don't know. I think people are overrating Frank Vetrano a lot, because I don't think. I mean, he's having a lot of points, but I think he's a merchant of being on the power play a lot. I don't think he's worth a first round pick, which is something Pat Verbeek is asking for, which I think he should be, but I don't know if it's worth it to the Rangers to give up a first round pick for Frank Vetrano of all people. And granted, he is extended past this year, but getting Jack Roslovic, I think, is a more cost effective option. And he has a lots of talent, Roslovic too. He is basically getting Frank Vetrano last in 2022. That's basically what it is. Ooh. It is 3:02. Not a lot of trades are being announced just yet. The Vegas Golden Knights have 500 million. Wait, no. Because Vegas doesn't really have much cap space, do they? They have to be shipping someone out. Who did Vegas get? Or what is Vegas's cap situation right now? They have $5.5 million of cap space, and Thomas Hertl is making over $8 million a year. So, who in the world are they shipping out? They need to create like $3 million of cap space, or 2.5. Who are they possibly trading? They can't be trading like Chandler Stevenson, can they? Maybe Braden McNabb? That's the guy I would honestly be shipping out. No details yet about what that trade's all about. This is what I was hoping for on this show. It's such a big, crazy trade like this. The Canucks are done for the day. They will not sign Phil Kessel, who was on their AHL squad. They will not sign Phil Kessel. That's interesting. Oh, they sent down who they sent down who did they send? Oh my goodness. Vegas like sent down a couple of guys just now. And Morelli and Fra I don't know how to say his last name. Emergency loan. That creates up like $1 million of cap space. Or no, just maybe shy under 2 million. Shady money tricks in Vegas. Never seen that before. In Vegas. It's 3:04 p.m. right now, Eastern Standard Time. The deadline's over. Rangers didn't make the big splashy move that I think a lot of teams wanted. The fans wanted, sorry. But I honestly don't hate it. They got what they needed. And they didn't really give up. They didn't see it worth it to give up their big assets, which I think is going to kind of help them. Having some of those assets left. Who's to say they don't trade like their first round pick at the draft this year? Who's to say they won't use that? They won't use that as a trade tip in the offseason. I could definitely see them making a trade this offseason. Again, as Vince McCurley just tweeted out saying if the Rangers couldn't land the big fish, which looks like to be the case, Jack Roslovic is not a bad fallback. That's what I've been saying. That is what I've been saying this entire show. We did get better today by default. We got better by default. Colorado got a lot better over the deadline. Edmonton got. Oh, I forgot to mention like what Edmonton's like been doing. They've got like Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick and Troy Setcher like the last couple of days, which I think are good acquisitions for them. Did they make any other moves? I don't see them here. And Florida also got Kyle Oposo today for cheap, which is I think a fine bottom six player for them to get. Another tough player to play against. Like, man, the Panthers got like Matt Tkachuk and Nick Cousins and Sam Bennett and Kyle Oposo all on the same team. Nightmare. Like, just bad. Just not a fun team to go up against. Unfortunately, Florida and Carolina definitely got better. They definitely did. However, I'm still not super I'm not really super sold in Carolina either. I don't really know. They haven't really done anything to really wow me, except they did beat the Rangers convincingly once, but that was their only win so far against us. I mean, it's all about what happens during the playoffs. But Oposo's going to fire Rempe. Well, I don't even know if Rempe's going to be on the roster still, but he might be able to. I don't know. They didn't retain any salary, did they? I can't really imagine if they did. They must have, because that would be the only way we really be able to get him on the team. Oh yeah, Carolina just got Anderson back, so maybe the goaltending situation got a lot better. They put Tony DeAngelo, Brendan Lemieux, and Antti Raanta on waivers of yesterday, and I don't think any of them got claimed, which it's funny to me. Rempe has to be available for the playoffs. I think he will be when the rosters expand, but I think sending them down now to Hartford to make him eligible for the AHL playoffs is good. The Calder Cup playoffs, sorry. Waiving former Rangers except for Fast and Shea. Man, I would love to have one of those guys back. Well, okay, no. Jesper Fast mainly. I would really like to have Jesper Fast back. Brady Shea, take it or leave it. Still no real details emerging yet. David Savard still with the Habs. He has not been traded. That was one defenseman who was like listed as available, but he's staying pat. Doesn't look like anything else is happening today, right now, which is weird. I think we'll get more. We can hope that Carolina and Florida face each other before the Rangers have to face any of them. I don't think that's possible at this moment. I think the Rangers are going to have to face are going to be facing Carolina more than likely if they both win a round. One of Carolina or Florida would have to. Carolina would have to like really fall very far if they were going to be playing the Panthers in the first round. It's just to say they have to like really collapse. I mean, if you can't say you didn't lose a conference final game if you don't even make it there. It's 3:10 p.m. right now. How long have we been live for? 58 minutes. We'll keep it going for a couple more minutes, I think, just to see if any more details emerge. If not, then that'll be the end of the show. Geez. Oh, details are emerging for the trade finally. We'll end it up here if there's more stuff. The details of Hurdle going to Vegas. The first round pick in 2025. So now Calgary's going to get the 2026 first round pick. Now, because Vegas has traded their 2025 first round pick. David Enstrom is also going to Vegas. Hurdle is retained at 17% retained. And I think a third round pick in 2025 and 2026 and 7 is going to San Jose too, I believe. I'm not entirely sure about David Enstrom. I don't know if he's a big prospect for Vegas or not, but it seems like it. What a mighty trade. Uh 17% retained for the next 6 years to play against you. Yeah, that's David Enstrom, I guess, better be the real thing. Better be the real deal, to say the least. I think that's where we're gonna end for today. Now, whatever happens here, I can confidently say the Rangers got better. Where they're up against Carolina or Florida, we'll see how those matchups go for the rest of the season. But I like the trades the Rangers made, and holy crap, Vegas just does not care. They will do. They gotta go. Vegas is the gambling addict. They gotta keep going for broke. Oh, they gotta keep going. Playing. They keep saying hit me every time for a better result. They gotta keep those winnings going. Trading everything for another shot at the cup. They sell their soul if they ever had one. I don't think they ever had one. But there won't be a show next week because it's spring break. The school facilities will be closed, so we will be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully, Cameron will be here. I think he will be. We'll see what happens. Enjoy spring break, everyone. This has been Luke Dolan with Ball Knowers signing off. Take care.